Well, good morning, everybody. We're at the homestead yet again. If you don't know what I mean by that, watch the previous video where we have revealed our winter and spring, well, I guess, and this fall plans. Bought property with a little 800 square foot off-grid home. Right now it only has 320 watts of solar, and that's what this video is going to be about. This is going to be about upgrading the solar on this guy from 320 watts to about 4,000 watts of solar, which for a little 800 square foot house with relatively minimal needs, I think it's going to be just about right. So let me show you what was already here. This, the previous owner had put up on one little pole. It seems to be doing fairly well. It's not moving, it's not swaying in the breeze. We have a little concrete pour here. I don't know how deep that is, but the wires just go underneath this piece of wood, which seems kind of precarious, and then inside the house there. So he wasn't exactly the most thorough solar installer, but it does work. But we're going to do is we're going to install 3,700 more watts on two 6-inch Schedule 40 poles, which I'm going to show you right here. These guys are incredibly massive and heavy. Each one's about 200 pounds. We drove them back about an hour and a half in our truck yesterday, so we have these ready to go. Today we're going to get some rebar in here and put them in the holes. Here is hole number one for pole number one. This is going to be our main home run with all the wires into the house. And this is hole number two. So each Schedule 40 pole will go into one of these holes. All right, so the idea is this would be pole number two. Each panel or each pole will hold 6 different solar panels. 6 here, 6 in the next hole. A little 18-inch trench here between the two holes, and then an 18-inch trench again running up to the house. And this trench and these holes might not be perfect. I did them myself. We rented an excavator. I'll show you that right now. And that was the first time I have ever been on an excavator ever. So I did the best I could. I think it's relatively decent for my first try. Let me go show you the excavator. All right, here we are. I picked this guy up from United Rentals there. It's a 7,000 to 10,000 pound excavator. Does a very nice job digging trenches, no problem at all. And we rented this guy for a week, so we still have several more days that we have this, so I am just using it now to clear out a bunch of brush and to build like a sort of berm back here, so the wild, like this area close to the house is relatively clear, where our dogs can run around and not worry about getting into, you know, mesquites and prickly thorns and snakes and, you know, all that stuff. So I try to keep that off into the distance in the land a little bit, while keeping everything close to the house relatively clear. So I'm going to use this thing as much as I can while we have it to maximize the cost we're paying and the things we have to do. And of course, there is our Airstream parked out in the front yard. If you remember from the last video, I think you probably saw a mesquite tree that was growing here. I ripped that sucker out with that excavator because it was overgrown and it's like a snake haven. So rip that out. I'm also going to clear this area here, and this is going to be our patio. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but I have a thing for like sandstone patios, so I might try to reuse some of the rock that's already here and then just kind of cut a sandstone path into the center area where we can put like a chimenea or a fire pit surrounded by some sandstone there that we could use and enjoy. So that's the idea, but this video is about solar. We are making some serious progress here on the land by the house. All this I cleared yesterday with that excavator right behind me. That's really addicting. I love using that thing. We can get so much work done in a very little amount of time. But solar. I showed you these trenches yesterday, and also yesterday with the help of my father-in-law, we have these 2 huge 6-inch Schedule 40 pipes into the hole with some rebar down there and a PVC conduit on each side of this one, and just on this side of pole number 2. And we're going to have this filled with concrete today. We're going to let it sit and cure over the next 3 or 4 days, and then these poles should be good. They're in the ground, and they will be ready for our top-mounted pole mounting system for the solar panels. So they're going to sit right on top of the pole and face somewhere south, southwest, somewhere in that area. So we made a lot of progress yesterday. It was not easy. These poles are 200 pounds each. Not easy. As you can see, we just use a couple of 2x4s here to run the support and keep everything right in line. Seems to be working really well. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. The progress is real. We're making good progress. Did you show him the poles?
I did. I showed him the poles.
We'll have to see if we could film while the concrete gets poured today, since we're not actually the ones doing it, so I probably can film. It's been busy though. That's why we haven't been filming, because it's been like, get it done, get it done, get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, we do not intend this to be a how-to video, so don't
Ask us why we're not
Don't ask, yes. Don't ask us a lot of questions. We did as much research as we possibly could, did it in the best way that we could as complete amateurs, but I think it's doing pretty well. This is just how we are doing it. It's not necessarily a how-to, so keep that in mind. That's part of the reason why I cleared this area, so our crazy dog can run. And you see that berm back there? She just naturally stops at that berm. It doesn't go beyond into all the mess. So that's what we want. That's what we want.
And it won't always be mud.
And it won't always be mud.
We're gonna get gravel in some of this and put a patio in. And we got lots of big plans.
Yep. Hi, Penny. All right, now you're seeing the cement after a couple days of curing. It is looking pretty good, very solid. These poles are going nowhere. And as you can see, we have PVC conduit. I chose 1.5 inches to allow us a lot of room to run wires and stuff through that. It goes down through the cement and then out through our trench, and that's going to be our home run line. And then same thing over here with this little area for a trench, and then that other PVC. And for holes this big, we weren't about to do this ourselves. It would have taken like 1 million bags of that Quikrete stuff and mixing them and dumping them. Just got a truck out here. Cost a little more, but it was well worth it in the convenience of having it just all dumped in. We were done in 10 minutes and he was gone and the concrete was drying. So we are happy with that progress. And so the very last step, and I think we're gonna wait another day or two, is to just remove the boards that were holding our Schedule 40 pipe as well as the PVC in place. Remove those so it's just the pipe and the PVC and the cement, and that's it. And then once we get the solar stuff, we could start building that and mounting the panels right on top of both of our poles. And I'm going to leave that stuff for another video, but like I said, we're going to have about 4,000 watts of solar, including what we have here and also the solar panel that was already on the house when we bought it. It was only like 320 watts, so not a lot, certainly not enough to live on, but I think this will be 4,000 watts will be enough for us. Oh, and let me show you something else we did. Stepping across the trench, right next to our water tank here, we got a 500-pound propane tank. This sucker is going to last us for at least a year, maybe more. The previous owner already had a gas line running in, so this was a very easy install for us. Now, the only thing that kind of worries me a little bit is the size of our water tank. It's 1,250 gallons. I wish we had something bigger. So we're looking at other options, whether like a bigger tank or maybe a rain catchment system. That's really the thing that we want to do the most, I think, is rain catchment, install gutters around the house, funnel it in through some kind of filter to fill our freshwater tank while it rains here. And just a few days ago, we had a tropical storm wash through this area. So we probably could have filled that entire tank if we had that set up, but we didn't. But that's something that we're still gonna have to do. All right, I'm gonna cut this video here, include all the other solar, like the mounting and stuff, in a later video. But for now, I'll just show you a few things that we have inside the house. We are slowly accumulating things that'll make this feel like a home. See you next time.